Council President?
Yes, sir.
If I could, just in general terms, without getting into the specifics of the calendar and the particular weeks, my recollection tells me that generally we have issues when we have combined meetings.
Mm-hmm.
Issues of scheduling, issues of proper deliberation, issues of public involvement, things such as that. I might suggest, and I have not worked through the calendar here, but perhaps there's a willingness on this council to take a look at the April and May dates at least to see what we could do to eliminate those combined meetings. I would also suggest that generally in the months of July and August, it's nice to only have one round of meetings. On an individual basis, I love it. But that does tend to backlog things, particularly in the month of August. And perhaps we might want to take a look at in the month of August, at least, of trying to fit in another round of meetings. But I just take those as suggestions for what they're worth.
Well, one of the things I know is that we can adopt a resolution authorizing the schedule of meetings for 2009, but it's never really etched in stone because circumstances arise, and we have the flexibility to change, and we have changed. So my suggestion would be at this time to adopt the resolution and then be flexible where we need to be or do what we need to do when we need to do it. Any questions or comments? Okay. From the Planning Board, amendment to the Housing Element and Fair Share Plan.
Council President, we've already heard a lot about the Planning Board. We'll hear some more when we get to the regular business portion of this meeting, so I'll hold any comments.
Okay, and response from the ordinance 1670. Any comments or questions? All right, Councilman Massaro, any report on the Planning Board?
No, sir.
Okay. Okay, we have several ordinances for further consideration and public hearing. I'll list them by number, and then if there's a question or a comment, please let me know. 1670. Anything on that? 1671. 1672.
Yeah, Council President, 1671 and
Yes, sir.
1672, I believe both of them were reviewed rigorously by the, I think it was by the zoning board.
Right.
And I was wondering if we had any estimation of, and I don't, any estimation as to what revenue these would be generating, because I think they talked about them in terms of
Right.
generating revenue.
Right.
It's
Mr. Laird, do you know?
The amount.
yes, it's about $33,000
Each
one.
per year, and then there's an escalation clause of 3% per
3%.
year.
Yeah, Council President.
Yes, ma'am.
The way I'm reading this, it's a 5-year lease, and then the possibility of 4 more 5-year leases. So the potential is for 25 years of leases.
Right, with annual increases, right.
Right. Now, I just want, and I think it was answered, perhaps it was answered previously, but I was just wondering, I just want to make sure that if after the 5-year lease is up, if the township decides for whatever reason not to renew the lease, we will not be exposed to a penalty, will we?
Oh, absolutely not.
We won't be?
No.
Okay.
Oh, I wanted to just go back to 1670 for one thing, Council President. That's the rezoning. The Planning Board, what you saw before, has recommended that we can move forward because it's not inconsistent with the master plan. So we do need to remove that from the table because it has been tabled.
Okay, sir.
CIC site.
Yep, that's 1670. Okay, 1673. That's taxi and limousine services. Any comments or questions? 1674.
Yeah, Council President.
Yes, ma'am.
I did.
Okay.
If you look at page 4, one of the terms, inspection of taxi cabs, it's 1-30.6. One of the words that's being deleted is sanitary, and I was just wondering if that could be left in. let's see,
Well, I see what you're talking
you
about.
see what I'm saying? Because it really shouldn't be a hardship, besides being safe, for it to be clean as well.
That's fine.
So is it possible to leave that in?
Yes, that's not a material amendment
Right.
requiring.
Okay.
And then if you could explain the power of attorney on page 5, and then on page 11, page 5, it's for taxis, and on page 11, it's the same for limos, and it's the owner of taxi cab, or in the other case limo, shall execute and deliver to the township clerk a power of attorney. Can you explain
Right.
why a power of attorney would have to be would have to be delivered?
Right, a power of attorney is, it's a pretty important, it's a pretty powerful document, actually.
Yeah.
Power of attorney gives unto someone else the right to do all acts that you were required to do, but you didn't do, so that under 11-30.10, you're actually giving, the owner of the taxi cab is giving a power of attorney to the director of finance to acknowledge service of process, so that if they are sued, then they will be, they can't avoid the fact that they're being sued and just try to evade service of process. So they're appointing the director of finance as the attorney in fact to accept service of process on their behalf, so that they can't evade lawsuits in this community.
Okay. Does that protect them? Does it protect the taxi or limo service
Well,
in that sense?
It protects, it actually protects the public, so
Okay.
that the public has a venue, because many times some of these shady companies don't, they just come and go, and it actually protects the public in that they have a person to whom they can contact and be in charge to accept service of process if there's a personal injury lawsuit.
Oh, okay, very good. And then one other question, Council President.
Sure.
On page 7, down at the bottom, regarding suspension. It talks about any license so issued may be suspended upon the recommendation of the police director for the cause of the violation of this section or the regulations made thereunder. Then being added is, a suspended driver may request a hearing to appeal said suspension. To whom would a suspended driver appeal?
To the director of police.
To the director?
Correct.
Okay. Okay. I thought maybe there might be a third party, and I was trying to figure out who
No.
it might be.
Okay. Anything else?
So, so a director can issue a suspension, and then, upon hearing what the owner says, lift that suspension.
Correct.
Is there any oversight? Like, I guess not, right?
No, it's actually within his discretion.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Okay. Anything else on 1673? 74, traffic signal easement, Raritan Center Parkway, Parkway Place. 1675, deed of dedication from Federal Business Centers for traffic signal improvements, Raritan Center Parkway and Parkway Place. 1676, an ordinance amending Title II of the Code of Edison, creating the position of parking enforcement officer. Okay, we spoke about these at our last meeting. They're up for public hearing tonight. Okay, any additions to our communications? I'll start to our right. Councilwoman Griffin-Newsack?
No, just the ones that are there.
Okay, Councilman Massaro?
Nothing to add.
Council Vice President?
Nothing to add.
Councilwoman Pearlstein?
Nothing to add.
Councilwoman Rosigliano?
Council President, the gentleman who sent the email on A sent another email today, and I believe it went to the clerk's office.
Okay.
Can we enter that into communication?
Do we have it? Okay.
You have it?
Yes.
Yes? Okay. I believe that's it, Council President. Thank you.